All right, you kids want to see what's inside my brain? You want to think about the things I think about? That sounds right. Let's go over to the business side of stuff. So, let's give you a look inside my little skull cap here. All right, so what are the three major brands, the top three gun manufacturers? Now, when I say gun manufacturers, I say of M4s, because this is America, and screw you if you don't have an M4. Yeah, I said it. I don't really count like TM. They're not really in the M4. Look, there are M4s, and then there is garbage. That's it. The end. Yeah, come at me. Moving on. Top three, right there. I don't believe in like a first, second, or third. I don't think that doesn't really exist in my opinion. There's just different strengths and weaknesses. I'm sure maybe one might outsell others, and so I don't believe like this brand is better than this necessarily. It's what do you want? You look at Crytek. As far as the product they make, the M4, my opinion, the Crytek M4 AEG system is the best one on the market. Before we start spending crazy amounts of money on all kinds of, my rifle, my DSG started life as a Crytek Trident Mark III. G&G, but with Crytek, that's kind of all they make. They're known for high performance, out of the box M4s, and that's it. They don't have dozens of other kinds of different guns. You look at G&G, now G&G may not be making like the top tier with the best stuff in it, but they just make so many guns, it doesn't matter. They're also the best manufacturer for entry and mid-level rifles. You Google right now, like what the best beginning rifle is, and I'm willing to bet 80 to 90% of the results you're going to find involve a G&G, most likely a G&G Combat Machine series of rifles. Because for 200 and under, even maybe like 205, 208, whatever with tax, blah, blah, blah. Basically, for under $200, that G&G makes the best system out there. It's not Classic Army. It's not Elite Force. It's not any of those other, what I'm just going to call a junker brand. I'm saying it. Valken, junker. Elite Force, junker. Classic Army, junker. That's it. I'm saying it. G&G is the top as far as the mid-level guns go. But I think Crytek rifles outperform the highest level of G&G high performers. Does that make sense? So, again, it's going to depend on what you want in an AEG. Specifically in an AEG. I think Crytek's have the better ones, but they're more expensive. But G&G makes a lot more affordable ones that are still super easy to work on. They last for... Look, our field rentals are all straight up all G&Gs. They're all G&G combat machines. They're Mod Zeros, they're Raider Shorts, Raider Longs, and Firehawks. We've had them for years. Basic level maintenance, we're good to go. And those are rentals. You don't have to go to my field specifically to know what a rental goes through. That is a rough life. That is a rough life. KWA, I believe that KWA makes the best gas rifle platform out there. I don't think anyone does any better than them. And I don't necessarily count like the like how some HBA companies like Polar Star, I think Wolverine is also doing the same thing. They have like the little tanks that screw into the buttstock. I don't really count that. To me, that's just that's still an HBA series rifle. That's a personal opinion. But as far as GBBRs go, Crytek wins, hands down. If you want realism, you need a KWA. Did I say KWA or Crytek wins? I'm messing everything up. As far as GBBR goes, KWA wins. They win. They win. They just win. You want KWA? You want realism? You need to go to KWA. You're not going to get the realism from a G&G or a Crytek that you're going to get from a KWA gas rifle. It's just not going to happen. And that AEG blowback system, nope. Telling you, it ain't going to work. You're talking to a guy that spent basically every day from the time he was 18 until the time I was like 32 or 33 around M4 rifles. I know. So for me, there's no like first place, second place. They're all gold standard. That's a personal thing. It's just gold standard in different areas. Notes. I went through that a lot faster than I thought I was going to. Wow. So, the other interesting thing about KWA. KWA is going to be the company you want to watch for the next 12 months because this blows my bald little mind. Why is no other company trying to compete with Simunitions in the training world, in the professional world? Why is KWA the only, listen to me, KWA is the only company that is trying to break into the professional training market and kick Simunition out of their throne, which they can do, given enough time, given enough marketing, given enough resources. Airsoft is going to beat Simunitions. It's going to. Unless they have some sort of like really long exclusive contract or something like that. But Airsoft, what you're going to see is going to beat out Simunitions in the training world. It's just a matter of time. Excuse me. And assuming KWA is able to get all the resources together, to get all the spokespeople together, to get the law enforcement ambassadors together. Anyway, I absolutely think that's going to happen. So KWA is a company. Let's talk about KWA. KWA just released that QRF mod 1 and 2 video with Demo and with Russian. And it's a very well done video if you haven't seen it. It's very well done. No other company is really doing that to that level of like trying to promote that level of commercials and marketing. It doesn't exist. From what I've seen. I could be wrong. But KWA is gonna. I predict is. I don't have any inside information other than I did have a video conference call about being a law enforcement ambassador, and I'm still waiting to hear back from that. But I think that aside, I think KWA is gonna make more progress in the next 12 months than G&G or Crytek, unless those two companies have something in the works that just no one's told me about. I just happen to have this information about KWA. So it's possible, but no one slide in my DMs with this information. La 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 la. What's my gold standard right now for a rifle? Well, it's this guy. Boop. This is what my rifle started life as. This is the Crytek it's the Crytek Trident Mark II, blah, 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 blah. Solid rifle. I think the Trident series is better than anything that G&G has put out to include the Predator line, and I'm not a huge fan of the ARP9, just as a personal thing. It's just like, yeah, whatever, it's a gun. But without starting to look into like crazy expensive aftermarket, like customized, out of the box, there you go. Your Crytek. What I think is going to beat that bad boy out. Let me see if I addressed that yet in my notes. Here's what I think is going to be. Here's where I think is going to beat it. Ready? You want to see the competitor? It's not a G&G rifle. I don't think G&G's can hold a candle. Here's who I think is going to try and knock him out. The Ronin. KWA Ronin, specifically the T6 and the T10. I'm not a fan of I don't like the T45. The TK45. I just think it's kind of goofy. But remember, I'm an M4 guy. I spent my whole adult life with the M4 and the M16 series of rifles, so you're really gonna have to work to get me away from that. The rear slanted magazines like it has, I think it's dumb. I don't like it. It's too European for me. Look, I'm American, right? I'm American. You give me an American rifle, except for a couple guns that I'm gonna bring up in a second. Anyway. The nice thing about the Ronin T6 and I believe the whole Ronin line has this. I know specifically the T6 does. This is the Ronin T6, the shorty. It's an adjustable FPS, which is great. So let's say you're going, you have like NorCal, SoCal problems. So in NorCal, you go to basically any field in Northern California, north of Bakersfield, and you can walk on with 400 FPS, usually. I think GamePod caps it at 350, but on that. But like if you're in the Sacramento area, it's all 400 FPS fields. You go to SoCal, it's 350 and lower. Now, I think there's a couple that do 400, but the two main cutoffs in Airsoft for rifles, for AEG rifles, is 350 and 400. Those are the two big ones. I like that KWA has this adjustability because I don't have to do a whole lot, in theory, to get under 350 or above 350, depending on where I play. That is super convenient. I literally had a SoCal spring and a NorCal spring. And I don't know how to tech, so I would just have one of my friends be like, hey, can you pop this thing in for me? And I go play. If you look at the price point, these are priced up. So these, the Ronin T6s and the Ronin T10s are priced similarly in retail price to what the Crytek, the Trident Mark 2s are at, and the Trident Crytek, Trident, whatever. The Crytek PTWs. Where did I get Trident? All right, Trident Mark series. I had a lot of caffeine today to fire myself up for you kids. So let's go. So I think that they're both, the price point is roughly the same thing, but I think that the Ronin, because it has more customizable features, it also has the ability, the marketed ability. I don't know how easy it is. I remember I don't tech. You can swap out the triggers, and you can drop in a Gate Titan. They say MOSFET. They're really talking about a Titan, a Gate Titan, like the programmable ones. So theoretically, I believe that the Ronins were designed to be more easily upgraded with the simple upgrades of like trigger and MOSFET. That's an opinion. I don't know how much easier it is to convert this over into to HBA tap or to DSG these rifles versus a Crytek. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't tech. I just make kids scream. Yeah. So, what do I think? Scroll down. Right now, what do I think the hottest gun is? It's not this. I don't think the hottest gun right now is a Crytek either. I think that the hottest gun, you ready for it? Pull my finger. Oh no, that didn't work. Whatever. G&G ARP9. Right now, I believe this is the hottest gun on the market. I think I have to burp soon. Yep, sure did. Right now, the G&G ARP9, I believe, is the hottest gun on the market right now because there are shops that are having problems keeping this thing in stock. I have kids come up to me on the field all the time and ask me how much I can buy this for them for, or how much I can get it for them. Words. You know what I'm talking about, right? Look, I'm an arms supplier for small children. It's just what I do. But I believe that the G&G right now is at the top of the heap as far as overall purchases. Remember, there's a solid chance that if you're watching this video, you're a hardcore player. Like you're like, ARP, I don't run an ARP9. Like, no, I have an M4. There's reloads, blah, blah, blah. For the most part, the ARP9 is very popular, especially with newer players. Look, it's small, it's cheap, it looks different. You can put pretty colors on it. It's great. I don't think it's going to do big in the competition market because of the way it reloads. Right. Oh, I can't do it. Hey, wait. Nah, can't do that either. If you look at that, the reloading is more of like SMG style, or like that MP5 style, or that kind of similar to an AK style. It's not paddle button release like an M4. That's big. Reloads are how you reload is a huge determining factor on a competitive gun. I know because I used to shoot competitively, and I didn't do it with an AK. I did it with an M4. Moving on. What do I think is going to knock that bad boy out? You ready? You ready? This is the only non-pistol, non-M4 gun that I am foaming at the mouth for. Tom, I know one of you guys is watching this. I know someone at KWA is watching this. Give me this gun. Give it. Give it. Give it. I want that. I want... that one. I want that one. I don't want that one. I don't like the back. I don't like the magazine. For some reasons, magazine have to go forward for me. I want that one. Give me that Mod 1. I think the Mod 1 has the potential to shut down or shut out the G&G ARP9. I think it's going to happen. But it's going to depend on what it's priced at. They wouldn't tell me what the Mod 1 was priced at, partially because I don't think they had settled on a final price yet. I believe that was the conversation that I had with them as they were working on it. But if this is priced at around or slightly less than the ARP9, ARP9's done. The age of the ARP9 will soon be at an end because I think that the QRF, specifically the Mod 1, I think that Mod 1 is going to knock the ARP9 out, depending on pricing. And it kind of depends on how they market it and a number of things. But I think that... Hey, I can do this. I think this bad boy is going to knock the ARP9 out. Of the non-M4, like kind of that subgun, that SMG style design. I think it'll kick it out. It's personal opinion. And I want one. Give me the QRF, please. I would like to shoot small children in the face with a KWA QRF Mod 1. Oh, that's my cat. Cat's making noise. So let's go back. Let's take a trip back in time to when I made this video and when I made this statement.
I create a marketing campaign. I create a product. Let's say a rifle. I create a M16 series rifle with like a ACOG and all kinds of doodads and whiz-bang gizmos, right? Paint it, camouflage, all that cool stuff. Spray paint it camo. I market it to speed softers. Or excuse me, I market it to milsimmers. Say I take that same rifle, put on a different upper, say like a 9-inch upper, like a pistol.
That sounds like facts.
The box, the motor, all the internals are still the same.
Sounds great.
I just change the way it looks, and I make it look like an all-black M4 or like an AR pistol.
No.
Now I've taken that same rifle.
No, it's not going to happen.
Made it look different.
No.
Now I can sell it to speed softers. Because both markets are too stupid to realize that there's no such thing as milsimmer speeds. It's all...
What? Did I say that someone was going to create a speed soft gun? No. Did I say that a company was going to take the same internals and basically only change the aesthetics? Mentiroso. Oh, wait, no. G&G straight up is doing that. That's literally what G&G is doing. G&G unveiled in the, was that shooting competition they had in Taiwan? They're like, hey, look at this. It's called the... This is called the, what do they call it? The SSG-1, the Speed Soft Gun 1. Oh, and the kids on the Reddit are just on fire with rage. I mean, it looks all right. I don't understand. What I do like... There's only one piece about this entire rifle setup that I would like, and this is, if they sell it separately, I might end up buying this, and that's the, this part, right here. Just the barrel, that's it. Not really, so when I say upper, I would say like a complete upper. I don't care about the upper, because it just looks like every other M4 upper I can go get from the G&G website. But that barrel, like that I guess the outer, the handguard, that looks pretty neat. I might rock that, depending on like some color options. You know what? I might give that a shot. Other than that, that whole rifle kind of sucks, if we're being honest. Let's go through the features. It has 3 distinct features that I can see. Keep in mind, G&G is not, this is a prototype. And I will also let you know the one feature I bet is absolutely going to change, and I'll tell you why I think it'll change. I like the barrel. I think that's kind of neat. I really like that. It's different. Kind of has that carbon fibery look to it. Still has some rail space on it, so that's kind of groovy. It has a drop stock on it, which drop stocks are starting to become more popular with players who run a mask, because you can't really get that same like that same cheek welder, that sight picture with a rifle, because the mask offsets where your cheek should normally be. Remember, rifles are designed not to have masks worn on them. You ever try and done an NBC course of fire? It sucks. It's not easy to do. So, drop stocks came in real handy because it kind of helped guys align their sight picture with their eyes. Kind of just really went to an overall sight picture sight alignment issue. So it looks interesting. But I'm not a big fan of the way that the drop stock looks in the back. It just looks bulky. It looks really out of place for me. I would appreciate it to look more kind of like an M4 in the back, I guess. I like the idea of the drop stock. I'm just not a fan of the way that they have implemented it in this rifle. The other interesting piece is the trigger guard and the extended trigger. That's it. Big whoop. But they haven't told us what the internals are yet. So, I mean, maybe if they throw the same internals as the Firehawk, yeah, I could see that that extended trigger doing some good. But you ever tried to run a stock combat machine like it's a DSG or an HPA? You feel stupid. Let's be honest. It's not. So what I'm willing to bet is they are going to put standard combat machine internals in here, knowing darn well that players that buy these are just going to rip the internals out anyway. And they're just going to they're either going to drop like a P-Star Jack in there, or they're going to DSG it, but they're not going to just buy that rifle and jump into the next Speed QB tournament with the rifle out of the box. That's not going to happen. You would be foolish at G&G to think that. And Charlie and Amanda are not fools. They're very intelligent. I've met both of them. They're very smart. Amanda is way too polite. I don't know what that is. Like, she's just nice. Like, why are you this nice? I don't get it. Anyway, I'm always suspect. Like, why are you so nice? Like, I get free sandwiches, and they have like little avocado bits on them and bacon bits on them and some cucumbers. Yo, those sandwiches that they had at the G&G, the little gallery showing or whatever last year, saved my life. I was starving and I was almost broke. Anyway, the one big piece I think they are going to change from what's actually going to hit the market, is the trigger. Because many fields prohibit extended triggers. They straight up won't let you play with them. Just, you could say whatever you want about that issue, but it's not going to happen. Also, more importantly, Speed QB prohibits extended triggers in their tournaments. A lot of tournaments will not allow long triggers. They just won't. It's not going to happen. So what I think you see is G&G takes the trigger out of this SSG prototype, and I think they just pop in the ARP9 trigger. That's it. It has that straight trigger action, that blade style that a lot of dudes like. It's still tournament legal. It's still field legal for many fields. And they already have it in their inventory anyway. They don't have to create a new part. They just buy a few more of the old ones, or just go, hey, do we have like a whole container of just blue and red triggers laying around for ARP9s? Okay, throw them in the new gun. That's what I think. And then you could start using your ARP9 triggers and parts for your ARP9 and for this gun, so you don't have to spend as much money on parts. So that's why I think that they do that. That's an opinion. It's an opinion. Boop. Looking at my notes. I did that very well without having to look through a lot of things. Jump back over here. Jump back over here. Another interesting piece that's come up within the last couple weeks is there is now a competitor for Airsoft Con. If you don't think that this was not created to compete with Airsoft Con, I think you're stupid. Or you're just very ignorant to the business world. Because remember, Airsoft Con is just Evike and their little friends. That's it. Airsoft Con is not for all of Airsoft. It's just an Evike appreciation day. That's it. I know, because I went there and went, oh, this isn't really Airsoft specific. This is Evike. Oh, okay, this makes sense. This makes way sense. So, if you're not in that Evike clique, if you're not one of their distributors, one of their retails, one of their wholesalers, whatever, you're like, bro, how do we get down on some of this money? Let's do our own shebang. Let's throw our own shindig. And let's make it way more fun. Which I think this is going to be way more fun than Airsoft Con. It's an opinion. They got tournaments, they got giveaways, they got all kinds of... They have panels just like Airsoft Con does. They have the same vendors. It's also a month. Roughly a month before Airsoft Con. They're doing it before Airsoft Con can. Anyone else pick up on that? I did. I'm not going to be able to go because we have a tournament. Because I put a tournament together. I put this tournament together like 4 or 5 months ago. I'll be perfectly honest. I thought about just be like, sorry, we're not having the tournament, and then just canceling on it. That would piss a lot of people off, and that would just be really rude and disrespectful on my part. So I'm not going to be able to make this one. I would, if I had the time, I would absolutely go. I had several. I'm just gonna say I had a couple organizations ask me about my interest in coming down. How's that? Oh, the beard hair in my nose is real today. So that I find that very interesting, and I want to see how the success of this does versus the success of Airsoft Con. If it does anything to it at all, it might just not do anything. Everyone just be like, might go to this thing, and then they might go to the e-bike one too, just for fun. Sounds like fun. I like fun. Boop, go away. The last little piece I will get into, I think. Let me check my notes. Okay. Put that down. Whee. Last big piece that I was super surprised and happy about was that SpeedQB is going to be at DreamHack in Europe. For those of you who don't know, I knew about DreamHack as a LAN party because I've been a computer nerd for since high school, since I was about 15. So, when did I start nerding? So I've been a nerd for about 19 years, give or take. So I knew about DreamHack as a computer LAN party. That's all I knew. I didn't know that it was like this huge lifestyle thing, like this young lifestyle, electronic lifestyle, video games, this, that. I didn't know that. I was just like, yeah, let's go to DreamHack, plug all of our computers in the same network, and just frag each other all night. Cool. That sounds fun. In Europe, they're going to have the SpeedQB European Championships. That's insane. That's huge. DreamHack is big time. That's big time. I'm telling you right now, that is major eyes on the sport. If you don't think this is important, you're not into it as hardcore as I am. You're not looking at this from a business perspective. This is a lot of fresh eyes onto SpeedQB, and by SpeedQB we mean Airsoft. We see where we're going here? People that have never seen Airsoft are going to see SpeedQB finals. They're going to see all these people. They're going to see the guns. They're going to see the gear. They're going to see how fast-paced it is. They're going to see that it can be done indoors. They don't have to go outside. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Europe can get really cold, right? Is that look, I live in Sacramento, California. Cold for me is it's 50. Yeah, that's kind of nice. So there's that. So I think this is going to be big for not only obviously SpeedQB, but Airsoft as a sport. That's a personal opinion. So there's that. Also, DreamHack is international. It's worldwide. There's a bunch of them. I'm going to the DreamHack in Anaheim next February, next March. I'm going. Unrelated to any of this. I'm just going because my friends were like, hey, let's go to DreamHack. I said, okay, that sounds like fun. I'm curious to see if SpeedQB is going to be in the Anaheim DreamHack that I'm going to be at. You could theorize that depending on how this DreamHack event goes, they might look at it and go, hey, you guys, since you guys are already in LA, why don't we just have you as a vendor at our LA venue also? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe the DreamHack guys in Europe are way different than the DreamHack guys in LA, and the guys in LA are like, no, that's not gonna happen. No. Is that a multi-million-dollar company? Well, then it's not a vendor for DreamHack LA. I don't know. I'm just theorizing. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But that's why you love me, because I drink a lot of caffeine and I make a lot of wild statements.